Welcome back. Today is judgment day for Sasikala. Will it be power or will it be punishment? That's the big question, the answer to which all of Tamil Nadu and the rest of India wants to know. Let's look right now at how the Sasikala and O. Selvam camps are placed. Remember, so far the numbers solidly, it seems, with Sasikala, despite the fact that there have been some high-profile exits like Madhusudanan, like Natarajan, but the fact is that the large majority of the legislative party still backing Sasikala. Let's take you through how the numbers are stacked at this time. Let's start with O. Selvam. He has 11 Lok Sabha MPs on his side. Remember, these Lok Sabha MPs don't really count for very much because whatever number game has to happen in the Tamil Nadu Assembly. So these numbers don't matter so much. He also has 2 Rajya Sabha MPs backing him. There are 26 Lok Sabha MPs who are backing Sasikala. And if you look at the number game for the Assembly, at least yesterday in the Karnataka High Court, in the Tamil Nadu High Court, we saw the police commissioner say that 119 MLAs said that they were at the Golden Bay Resort of their own accord. About 7 or 8 MLAs have jumped across and joined the OPS camp, but that clearly isn't enough. Here's what the numbers are looking like at this time. Sasikala claims to have 126 MLAs on her side. Selvam at this time has only 8. Remember, one of them left in rather dramatic circumstances to join O. Selvam late last night, saying that he got into a disguise and that's how he reached there, the MLA from Madurai. If 10 more MLAs join OPS, then Sasikala will not have a majority on the floor of the House. Right now, though, she does have a majority. I want to go across now to our 2 guests who are joining us from Tamil Nadu, KS Geeta. We've also got C. Rajshekharan. I want to go across to KS Geeta. First, look at the numbers. Only 8 MLAs. While you've got more MPs on your side, having only 8 MLAs in the Tamil Nadu Assembly is simply not good enough for O. Selvam to harbour any realistic aspirations of becoming the state's next Chief Minister. Geeta, do you hear me?
Can't hear.
Okay, she says she can't hear. I'm going to try and fix that.
I can hear.
Okay, you hear me. Fantastic. You hear me. I'm saying that if you look at the numbers in the Tamil Nadu Assembly, only 8 MLAs seem to be backing O. Selvam at this time. This is simply not enough for him to be able to become Chief Minister.
You yourself said that one of the MLAs last night jumped in a disguise. So it clearly shows that they are kept under threat and locked up. So how can you call this democratic and how can you say they are on their own volition? You should let them come out, let them be on their own and let them come and give their voting as to their wishes. Why should they be kept under this lock and key with goondas? Your press is, all the media is reporting there are 4 goondas to every MLA. So what is the High Court of Tamil Nadu, Madras High Court and the police officers are doing? They are giving all wrong reports. That means you're taking the people to, you think the people are all fools to sit and watch this? You're making a mockery of democracy. I'm sorry.
And Sasikala making a mockery of democracy, that's the charge, and the charge also is that the moment these MLAs get the opportunity to express themselves, they will take a view which is very different from the one that they right now seem to be taking. Mr. Rajshekharan.
Yes, Rahul, see, if you see section 394 CRPC, it's an open and shut case. All appeal process abate upon the death of the accused. Here A1 is dead. See, from December 5th onwards, the appeal process against the acquitted A1 abates. It's only A1 who has been convicted by the special court under PCA Act 1988 section 13(1) and not A2 to A4. So they have been convicted for 120B. So going by the merits of the matter, I only say, I don't want to speculate the Supreme Court order. I only say that late Dr. Jayalalitha ji is no more and the case is abated on our part. So the case does not stand. So all the accused would be acquitted on merits alone. See,
a lawyer also, apart from being in the Sasikala camp, you're also a lawyer. I want to bring in independent opinion on this. Vikas Singh is joining us, senior advocate in the Supreme Court. I want to ask you, Mr. Singh, do you think that this is correct, that in most instances, if the principal accused passes away, then the chances of the other accused being convicted are much lesser than otherwise? Is that truly the case?
No, that is not the case. Actually, as far as the conviction is concerned, the case may abate a person who has died, but that doesn't mean that the other conspirators will also get away merely because of the death of the main person. So that is not the law at all. I mean, that's a wishful thinking on behalf of the Sasikala camp persons who are supporting Sasikala. But clearly in this case, I have maintained that the governor committed a huge impropriety by not inviting Sasikala on day one, because he could not have foreseen that there will be MLAs wanting to jump off the wall. I mean, he would be, actually having some kind of a foresight to visualize that. At the time when Sasikala, claimed to become the chief minister, there was no controversy. And OPS had resigned and she had the full support of the entire MLAs of the under DMK, and still the governor did not administer oath. So probably with the centre yesterday, the Attorney General taking the stand that there should be a composite flow test, clearly suggesting that the governor is acting at the behest of the centre. I mean, the centre is wanting to destabilize. What has happened in the last 7 days? Under DMK is falling apart, and that is what the centre probably wants. So this delay for the last 7 days, you have had no governance in the state. There is nobody acting as a chief minister. If the governor really was so sure that he wanted to wait for the Supreme Court verdict, he should have on day one told Mr. OPS that please continue as caretaker chief minister. I want to wait for the judgment of the Supreme Court, and I don't want uncertainty to prevail even for a minute, because if you see the constitution, there is either a president's rule or there is a chief minister. There is no third scenario, but we have seen a third scenario there in the state of Tamil Nadu, where for the last 1 week there has been no governance. In fact, Mr. OPS has entered the secretariat only yesterday, and he has been sitting at home all this while. So the state is it's a very unfair kind of a situation where the state has no governance in this.
Do you accept Vikas Singh's contention that whether the accused is alive or dead makes no difference to the conviction, especially when it comes to the charges against the other conspirators? And I want to, before you answer that question, just give our viewers a sense of who these A1, A2 are, because the lawyers obviously follow this on a daily basis, our viewers may not. So A1 is Jayalalitha, the principal accused in this case. Let me also take our viewers through what the specific charges against her are. So A1 is Jayalalitha. The charge against her is criminal misconduct by a public servant in the disproportionate assets case. The punishment in this case is imprisonment for 4 years and a fine of 100 crore rupees. Remember, she is now deceased, and therefore it makes no material difference. Then there is, the status currently is that she's been acquitted by the Karnataka High Court. She was convicted by the trial court in Tamil Nadu. Now then there is A2, accused number 2, Sasikala Natarajan. This is the lady whose future hangs in balance. The charge against her again is criminal misconduct, but she isn't a public servant. But those are charges against her. She wasn't at that time and isn't even now a public servant. The second charge is abetment of crime under IPC 109. So she is a conspirator in this case. Imprisonment in this case can be for 4 years. Fine can be up to 10 years. The status is acquitted by the Karnataka High Court. The Supreme Court will now, in about less than an hour, declare the verdict. Then Sasikala's nephew, V.N. Sudhakaran, is A3, accused number 3. He's Jayalalitha's foster son. Checkered relationship, was disowned later. He's been booked under the same charges as Sasikala. He too is a conspirator in this case. The status again the same, acquitted by the Karnataka High Court, awaits judgment now. Then there is A4, J. Ellaravasi, Sasikala's sister-in-law, booked under the same charges as Sasikala, acquitted by the Karnataka High Court, again standing judgment today. Crucially, of course, the entire focus is on A2. That question that I asked earlier, does Jayalalitha passing away make any material difference to the verdict?
Well, it does not make a material difference as far as law is concerned, because under section 394 of Code of Criminal Procedure Code, and on that principle the criminal case basically abates. Like if a person has committed any crime and is convicted, the person dies even before conviction, then it does not percolate down to the legal years, it basically abates. But this is a legal argument which can be taken, which is unlikely to cut ice, because
No, but the argument hasn't
charge
been made yet, because the hearing ended about 8 months ago. So
Correct.
none of these arguments have been made because Jayalalitha passed away much later.
Correct. But this argument is unlikely to cut any ice, because the persons who have been charged for criminal conspiracy under 120B, those charges basically remain.
But Rajshekharan was saying that if the principal accused is dead, then the conspirators should generally get away.
No, should get away, as my learned friend Mr. Vikas Singh has very correctly stated. This could be a wishful thinking of the person concerned,
thinking.
but law is very, very clear.
You're saying in law it makes no
In
difference. So
law-
Rajshekharan
in
is
law
talking more
it
as an
makes-
AIADMK Sasikala supporter than as a lawyer.
But it will surely weigh in the mind of the judge. After all, a judge is a human being. So therefore, is the main person, accused person is no more. Where is the question of criminal conspiracy between A and B, 120B, but 120B can't be obliterated by the death of the main accused.
Okay, S. Srinivasan is a leading political analyst joining us from Chennai. Good morning, Srini. Your sense of how this verdict could change political equations in Tamil Nadu. We just played out the numbers game, 126 MLAs, more than the magic figure, currently still backing Sasikala. Do you see that change once the verdict comes out?
Rahul, you correctly labeled it as a judgment day. I would say it's not just a judgment day for Tamil Nadu, but it's judgment day for the politics in India as well. I think one of the main players here, the stakeholders, are the people. I think we are forgetting them. People were tired and sick of this political maneuvering happening here. It's a theatre of the absurd which is unfolding. Hopefully, with the judgment, they find a conclusion to that. See, the hope was that, the people after the death of Jayalalitha, they suddenly realized that we have elected somebody and now we are seeing someone else who could usurp her place. That was their first anger. Later, when they've said, okay, let's go for some kind of a compromise, maybe OP Paneerselvam will work out, then they realize that even that is slipping out of their hands. And now they have fallen back upon judiciary. It's also a judgment day for the judiciary itself. I would go that far to say that, because this lower court, the Karnataka trial court, came out with a judgment which said that these are the accused. People then thought that's a very watertight case, and the judgment itself was very elaborate and a very elaborate one on that. But then they later realized that it's been turned down. And there are lots of memes and jokes on Google. If you see that, somebody is calling it a great Indian rope trick. Somebody is calling it as, a very special calculator which turns everything, and then the whole case turns over. Now it has come to Supreme Court. Therefore, if the lot of hope for the people that something substantial would come out, because this is truly important for not just politics of Tamil Nadu, but for whole of India. Therefore, all eyes are set on this judgment.
Oh, Sasikala also has a plan B. Let's tell our viewers what this plan B is. In the eventuality that she's not able to assume charge herself, if the verdict goes against her, she could nominate someone who she believes can hold fort while she can't take over. There are two names doing the rounds, K. Sengotian. He's the new Presidium Chairman of the AIADMK. Then there's E.K. Palanisamy. He's the PWD Minister. Now, these are two people who Sasikala still holds very close to her. But the big risk in that, T.S. Sudhir, is that you don't know whether these people will stick on, because O. Paneerselvam was also supposed to be the subservient person who wouldn't venture out on his own. He did that. Does she know that these two people will be with her all the while, or is she going to have at the back of her head the fear that they could switch too?
Well, these two names have been mentioned as the next Paneer Selvams of the Sasikala camp. Now, Sengotian has already been rewarded with the post of the chairman of the presidium of the AIADMK, which is why the name of Palaniswamy is being put as a front runner. Palaniswamy, in fact, was Sasikala's choice for chief minister's post after Jayalalitha's demise, but most people thought that since Paneer Selvam had already been chief minister twice, he was handling Jayalalitha's portfolio, so he could be probably seen as a more automatic choice for the post of chief minister on the 6th of December last year. So those are the positions, but yes, I mean, one can't really say whether most of those MLAs would really want to stick around in a Sasikala camp, which will be seen as being headed by a tainted leader convicted by the Supreme Court, should she indeed be convicted, at around 10:30 this morning. So those will be the permutations and combinations. So you could see a huge migration from Sasikala camp to the Paneer Selvam camp should that happen. But Sasikala's big challenge will be to ensure to at least hold on to some numbers to ensure that Paneer Selvam on his own is also not able to form the government.
Okay, Srini, your sense of who the possible nominees could be in case Sasikala can't be chief minister herself? Will she trust someone, or will her primary focus through the day be how do I ensure that I get foisted on the seat myself, that nobody has to step in, because you never know when somebody who seems subservient ends up becoming a Paneer Selvam?
Well, the two names you brought out on your screen is what the names are being bandied about here. But the thing is, what is holding them together in the AIADMK Sasikala camp? Obviously, power. You know, this government is elected only hardly 6 months now. There are another 4.5 years to go. 6 months have already gone without any governance. Actually, I would say the governance is not just last few days, but last 6 months there have been very tepid governance here in Tamil Nadu. Now, what is holding these MLAs together is, of course, power. The moment they see that the floor is shifting from Sasikala to OPS, I don't think they will even battle once their eyelid to switch. But then please remember the other thing. In Tamil Nadu politics, earlier also, after MGR's death and when Jayalalitha took over, there are a lot of senior leaders who tried to keep hold of AIADMK, which didn't happen. That wasn't the case. Finally, it's the person who had the people on her side, Jayalalitha, who won. Now what happened, if you look at currently what is happening is, OPS seem to have some kind of traction as far as popular support is concerned. But again, this is only based largely on social media and whatever is coming out on TV.
How much of a reliable barometer is social media? I want to go across to Apsara Reddy. She is very strongly in the Sasikala camp, joining us this morning. What's happening at the Golden Bay resorts? These MLAs, are they there of their own will and accord? A lot of charges being leveled that they're being kept by coercion. They're being kept there by these gangsters who've come in, these goons. They've been called gundas, 4 gundas per MLA. These are live images from right outside the Golden Bay Resort. Apsara, do you hear me?
Beaming.
Yes.
All these hostage headlines. So can I respond to you?
Yes,
can you hear me?
Please do.
All the hostage headlines that the news channels are screaming are not true, because yesterday in the press conference as well, all the MLAs were in front of the media. Media interacted with the MLAs multiple times. In a crisis situation, if they decide to be cloistered somewhere, to have private meetings and to kind of not be coerced and threatened, like all of us are getting threat calls and abusive calls from the OPS camp. There's a IT wing which is working overtime over there. So yes, the MLAs are together. They're firmly behind VK Sasikala, madam, and I can assure you that this 20-year-old case, she will be acquitted again today. And like you saw in the past, all the cases that have been foisted against our leaders, Madam Jayalalitha or Sasikala, they've been vindicated. And this will be another victory for us today. There'll be celebrations here in Forest Garden. I'm right outside the residence. There will be crackers here in a few moments from now. So I think you should wait and watch, Rahul.
We don't know where those crackers will be going off. Will they be going off at the Sasikala residence, or will they be going off at the Jayalalitha residence? Remember, at the residence of Paneer Selvam. Remember, if there is a conviction, it's also a conviction against Jayalalitha. So you can't really be setting off crackers, because that won't be very appropriate.